All right, so hello everyone. Let's begin this. So, all right, we see this very gap right here, right? My attention is on that gap. As you can see, the market has respected that multiple times. And on the weekly chart, if I look at it like in one go, I think the next candle would want to expand higher. I'm just going to mark that out. What? Right. All right. रहा ये डेली फेयर वैल्यू गैप. नाउ वी विल मूव ऑन टू डेली चार्ट. एक्चुअली थोड़ा सा ऑब्जर्व करते हैं अभी. राइट नाउ वील जस्ट टेक अ लुक एट इट. क्विक लुक, नॉट अ क्विक लुक. आई एम नॉट इन अ रश एक्चुअली, बट ऑल राइट. एंड एक्चुअली इसको चेंज भी कर दो. बेस्ट. सी राइट देयर, सी that is the daily order block. That might also be visible on the weekly. See right there. So the daily order block hit right there by the point, and we are moving like mostly consolidating. We are not, I'll not say we are moving higher yet, but do you see this? See that how clean that was. It is taken right here, and actually I'll switch the arrow so it's much more visible, right? Okay, and give me just 1 second to check if my mic is actually working or not. Okay, so that is a positive on the mic. Also, all these top runs very clear, right? Taken. So the weekly candle tells me most likely we are going to see a higher run. The daily also, aligns with that in some sense. Now we'll go into the smaller time frames and see what exactly do we feel about that. Also, just to confirm, we'll also be looking into ES. Don't worry about that. Personally, I do prefer NQ, I guess, because of the speed and volatility compared to ES. It's not that ES is not volatile, it's just it's a personal preference, I would say. उससे ज़्यादा कुछ भी नहीं. But again, apart from personal preference, जो देखना है सबसे ज़्यादा importantly, वो ये कि कौन सा मार्केट एक्चुअली में अलाइन कर रहा है जिस आइडिया से हम लोग चल रहे हैं. राइट, कूल. Right here we have 12 minutes to the open, 11 minutes actually. 12 hours, pretty much the same. I think the view is very clear. It may not do that. Again, clear doesn't mean that it will do that. I'm not saying this to avoid any flag if I'm wrong. I'm simply saying this to myself ताकि मुझे भी ये पता रहे उस probability में हमेशा. I just tell myself this almost every trading day, every session I sit, कि it may not pan out. And that's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing, because it keeps you grounded. It keeps you, on your toes in a sense. Ki it can turn on me. So don't, like over invest. ज़्यादा घुसना नहीं है उस चीज़ में. Well, simply to say that. Now let's move on to 4 hour. सब सारे time frames को बस देख के, there's nothing else here. Only by looking at them, they all want to go higher. That's what I see. Okay. What does 1 hour tell us? Same thing. This top looks very clear. You see that bodies? That's a volume imbalance. No, that's not a volume imbalance. I'm so sorry. That was actually a liquidity void. It is a volume imbalance in a sense, I know, but it's more of it's not more. It's actually a void, because As you can see, there was no trading done in this very region, right? So ये 1 hour पे ही based था this volume imbalance, and see the bodies, see that stop and then rejecting and then running higher like anything, right? So that speed also tells you that it wants to go there, it's that very close to it. Intra session ये पूरी चीज़ reverse कर सकती है, you know, reverse in the sense, reverse मतलब market के sense में नहीं, reverse मतलब narrative और bias के sense में. Like this whole picture that we are holding a bullish perception right now, right? You see that gap there? That is very interesting. I would like to refine that further. मैं उसको अभी 15 minutes में और refine करूँगा. That would be the best thing to do in my opinion. 5 minutes would be a little too much. Oh, sorry. I want to remove this, but it is important, no doubt. But I'll remove this. Oh no, not this. This. क्योंकि वो चार्ट को थोड़ा clumsy दिखा रहा है. I'm not. I like to see my charts clean. 15. Now 15 minutes ICT के हिसाब से this is like the bellwether chart. If you don't get anything, use the 15-minute time frame. You see the gap. It got even bigger. So since ये gap और बड़ा हो रहा है 15 मिनट में, I'll just keep it shorter and stick with the 1 hour time frame gap. Okay, as you remember, green is for draws. It would want to draw into that gap. After that, what it does is something we need to check. What else do I see on this 15-minute chart? I see that gap. See this one right here. And I'm going to mark it yellow because I don't know how the market will use it or if it will use it, but it has my eye definitely. Apart from that, you see these lows. I mean, I know they're not equal, but it looks nice and clean actually. It might want to take that. And when I'm saying might, see, my bias is bullish. मैं ऊपर का ही run देख रहा हूँ. I'm like, this is where the market is expanding. But what I've learned is over this time कि तुम bias बनाते हो and then you throw it out of the window. Like don't even think about it. Don't even think you have to stick with that bias. You made a bias, very good. Now throw it out. Now watch what the market presents you. So that's what I'm here to do. Watching what the market presents me and take a conscious decision. Like in GBP. GBP in the London session today, we had a long idea. And even though my trade failed, in a sense, because my stop was too tight, so the trade failed, but the idea panned out, not to the tick. I mean, we were looking for the equal highs in there, and like I'll just give you a quick view of GBP. Right, so we were looking at these highs as the draw, but this was the entry, and then this is where in one of the in one of my accounts I did make a booking, and also, right, you stay there please, yeah, avoid that please. Anyway, in one of the accounts I did make a booking as well, but the booking was done exactly where? On that gap, like on the 5-minute chart. I'll show you that in a moment. See right there, that's where I started booking, and I booked 90% of the position right there, because the draw doesn't mean it's going there, it just means it's likely to get there, right? So also you can see the disclaimer running. Please don't forget the disclaimer. I am not a registered financial advisor, and well, this is not trading advice. It's just me showcasing what I do. That's all. So as you can see, we entered there. My stop was wrong, but in this one I got lucky with the stop in a sense, even though the stop should have been here, and the old low we mentioned, you know, the red line right here, that should have been the stop originally, but yeah, so then moved, and then eventually that's okay, that's booking, and then it came out to stop me out. I was looking for that last position for that equal high, but we didn't get it, right? So this, why did I show you this in the first place? Because I was bearish on this market, okay? I was and I still am bearish on GBP, okay? But I took a long right there in the London session, because the session presented me the scenario, the condition where I thought, the narrative told me कि bias should be bullish. We should be looking for longs and not for short, because खुलते से ही what did the market do? It collapsed lower. So what would happen when this breaks, like this low is broken? Everybody would want to go short, right? So that was the point, and you ran against that, counter trend. So this was a counter trend trade, but it's not about the counter trend or trend trade idea. It just simply is that your bias can change intra-session. Okay. Everything has slowed down for a moment. I don't know what happened. Something with the system. Just give me a moment. I'll set this right. Alright, so we are back. See that rejection right there? Right now, I mean, 9:30 open is still 2.5 minutes away. I have not yet gone to ES, so I'm going to quickly run to ES now, and let's see what happens. So this is the analysis for the moment. 15 minutes we have already observed. We are looking at that gap, not as a sell objective, but right now I'm just watching that gap. In fact, that low as well. Okay, moving on to ES. Okay, so I've already marked this gap in ES. ES was able to get there early once right here, and looking at the daily first. Well, almost the same picture. It should want to go towards that daily high, right? And yeah, that's pretty much the draw is what is in my opinion. Again, the weekly also tells me by the looks of it that it should want to expand higher above that high. That's not what I'm aiming for right now. I don't think that would happen, at least in the AM session, if it will also. So yeah, 12 hours, same scenario. You see that gap right there? That's very interesting. I'm watching to see what it does at that gap. I'm going to decrease the color so it's much more lighter on the eye. And well, we are there towards the open. I just want to rush through it right now. My best bet is it would want to run some lows and then move higher. That's my best bet, but it may not present that. I'm just looking at it, and I'm more poised to see the market come down straight away, take this low, take that low, preferably this low, obviously. Like, it's too clean to leave it just like that. And there we have the open, but the market has opened higher. Let's see. Also, one more thing, yeah, I forgot to completely check that. See that? That's the RTH open. We are hitting into the gap, and I think NQ would have taken the high. I'm going back to NQ now. I know it got a bit of a hurry here. Okay, yeah. Hurry up and wait. I remembered that just now. That's the reality of trading. Right. So we have NQ here running above that high, and where is 830? I'll go to a 5-minute chart and we'll look where 830 is. 830 is right there, correct? What's the first high before that? Right there. What's the first low before that? Right there. That means this low and this high are important. Getting it? Right. So these are two lows I'm looking at, two swing points I'm looking at. Why 830? Well, this is this is just in accordance with the 2022 model, nothing out of the box. And also, as you can see, as we saw in ES, we had a gap up for the RTH, same for NQ. It will want to, if we are on the right track, it would want to fill that up, and then if aligning with the higher time frame narrative of a bullish run, that's where it will want to go. Now I'm looking at RTH and I'm like, okay, we took the high, but what is interesting here is we have not hit the gap. In my opinion, if it has come this far, it would want to hit the gap. It should want to hit the gap. So let's see. Now we are watching, we have our key points everywhere, we have our narrative everywhere, everything, as per we needed to establish, we've established that, and there's the gap. It has hit the gap, and at this same time, at this very same time, ES is hitting the consequent encroachment of the 12-hour gap that we just marked out. So let's see how that turns out. If you're hearing crackers in the background, enjoy. It's Diwali. Now this is the the boring part, where you just stay with the market doing nothing and wait. Wait. It's all about the wait. I felt like doing lives for so long, but for some reason I just avoided it, and now I don't want to. In and of itself, we don't really have anything right now. You don't go short above that high on that gap expecting it's going to go lower. No, not at all. I've done that and I've gotten hurt almost every time. So you don't want to do that. Even if you have a bearish bias or a bullish bias or whatever it may be, you wait for the market to come on side with you. Let it align with your idea, and that is what I'm waiting for this to align with my idea. If it doesn't align with my idea, then it doesn't align with my idea. And what I'm trying to follow more is the order flow. The order flow is the main objective here. With the narrative that we have established right now, with the clear points that we established, like this high and that low and that high blue one and that gap, everything is in a kind of a clear picture, but the market may not do what we are expecting it to do, and that's why we wait for the right opportunity for the right time. Like I said, if you would have gone short there, you would have been shot in the face. If you look at it, how far can I expect it to go? Okay. That is pretty much the point. It may or may not go higher, but I don't think it should want to. Let's see. It can, sure, but let's see. You know why I chose trading? Because I wanted to be free. And when I wanted that, I did not even understand कि इस बात का मतलब क्या है, to be free. I mean, I never really understood that, at least not in the beginning. I remember listening to Sadhguru once, कि you keep asking for freedom, freedom, freedom. You don't even know what that word means. And he was obviously on point with that. Because even I wanted freedom, 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 and I did not know what I actually wanted, what I was looking for. What is that freedom that I keep talking about? So I just, went through this whole journey, trying to understand also in the process. Not really trying to understand too, actually. I was not really trying to understand that. I was just fucking around, to be honest. There's that phrase, right? Fuck around and find out. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. And well, I guess I somewhat found out. So I realized that it was for freedom, but what did that freedom mean for me? Like, what do I exactly mean when I say I want to be free? That's why I chose trading. I mean, freedom here is simply that I do my shit. I make the money. Nobody tells me to come at this time. Nobody tells me to leave at this time. Do that under this deadline. And when I realized that eventually in the, I guess 3 years into my trading, I realized that this is what I wanted. That's why that's why trading came to me. So when I realized that, I also realized what a fucked up thing I had just done. Not wanting that was not a problem. Not executing upon that was the problem. I wanted freedom, no doubt, but I did not understand what I want. So जब मैंने ये बात मांगी कि मुझे किसी से मैं अपना चीज़ करूँ, अपने में रहूँ, I make my own money, nobody to dictate over me. What I failed to realize was कि if nobody is there to dictate over me, I will have to dictate myself. And that's how it works. I mean, एक job में एक boss dictate करता है. In trading, you have to dictate yourself. There is no other thing. You cannot function in any other manner. If you think you can be ruleless, let's just do whatever the fuck we want to do. That's not what it means. Freedom here is just being clear with what you want, why you want it, and how you want to get it. That's freedom. And that fucking shit is very fucking hard to get. Like very fucking hard to get, because you are thinking ki I want this without realizing the price that you'll have to pay for it. Just I just talk around, casually, and everybody, whenever somebody asks about trading, I'm like, don't go into it. Just don't go into it. You don't know what you're signing up for. And the problem with this is, first, that you don't know what you're signing up for, and the problem, like, you cannot leave it afterwards. It's not like, oh, I failed at this, okay, let's just leave it and go do something else. You cannot. I mean, I swear you cannot. You just cannot function that way anymore. You're like, dude, I have this, free way to do things, to have my own way, and now I go back to listening to everybody. Now I go back to being restricted again. Nah, you cannot do that. I mean, I could not. I don't know if somebody else can, but I could not. And that's why I stuck. That's why I stuck with trading. Because I wanted to do my own shit. And here I am, doing my own shit. Yeah, so why have I marked that gap? Do you think it's a bullish run? That's why I marked that gap. No, obviously not. I mean, obviously not. I'm not looking to buy that gap. I'm waiting to see how the market behaves. That's data for me. That right there is data, how the market will behave, and that will help me establish my narrative even stronger, because I'll understand how the market used that gap. Why is that gap important? Well, by the way, it's also the, actually let's change the color for this one, because this is a different gap altogether. Why? This is the first presented fair value gap right there. I don't trade gaps like that, like timing them, first presented, like, in a sense, because I don't understand time. I'll be very clear with that. I don't understand time. By not understanding time, I don't mean that I don't see the time, obviously. By not understanding time, I mean is, like, let's say it's a short here, okay, let's just say it's a short here. I don't know when it's going to go. I try that a lot. I try to time that shit every time, and I get fucked in between. Like, I literally get fucked every time. तब मुझे समझ में आया इतनी बार मरवाने के बाद कि no, that is not how we are going to do things. We need to find the right gap on our own. What's that right gap? And eventually I just started choosing the right gaps with practice. It comes automatically. You keep practicing, you keep seeing, okay, so you went back there in time and you saw, like, maybe this gap right there. Does it interest anyone? See that? See how the market has used this gap right there. So this is what backtesting was for me initially, and then it changed a lot again, but that's a conversation for a different time altogether. But yahi thi backtesting. I would just look, I would find gaps, mark them out, and then see how the market behaved around them. Then I saw ICT's lives. I mean, I saw so many lives, 2023 lives. I was like, dude, why that gap? Even I had that very question, why that gap? But then I realized it's not about why that gap, it's about experience. You have collected data in your mind, even though when you're thinking you're not collecting data, you're actually collecting data. If you're watching this, you're still collecting data. Your mind is aware of this. It's listening. It's working 24/7, non-stop. So it's collecting data for you. And in that time, that experience is being built up. Slowly, day by day. The experience keeps on getting built up. Now, what am I watching here actually? Let's get back into the charts. What I'm watching here actually is if ES aligns with our idea or not. Why ES? Why ES? I'll show you, give me a moment. Yeah. So why ES is because if ES aligns with the idea, you can know when that high probable entry can be. Because so far ES is not aligning with the idea. That's a high, an old high at the back. So we have taken that, but have we shown any sense of rejection or any sense of bearishness? Not yet. Will we show that? Honestly, I don't know, but that's what I'm assuming. Like, that's what I'm looking for. I'm expecting something like that to happen. For the market to show, strong bearishness. Because that's what my narrative states right now. I'm looking for lower prices for this session. Now, if eventually if ES aligns, like there's a market structure shift, there's displacement, there's a gap like the 2022 model overall. If that aligns, and if NQ presents the same, you can trust it for a high probability trade, not a 100% surety trade, for a high probability trade. If you're still looking for 100% profitability, you're in for a painful lesson. Because, honestly, I'm still learning that. Like, very frankly, I'll just put it out, I'm still learning that. Because I see that, okay, my understanding works, I see the right things, I enter at the right places, I mostly put the right stops and everything pans out. So yeah, like I am God, right? I got this. I am 100% right. And then I take a loss. And then I spiral down. I'm like, okay, I fucked up something. I made a mistake. कुछ तो मैंने गड़बड़ कर दिया. कुछ तो मैंने गड़बड़ कर दिया and I should not have done it. Now I'm mind fucking myself into it. Okay, there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. When there was no fucking problem. There was never a problem. 100% accuracy doesn't exist. Not with the markets. And I think it doesn't exist with anything, to be very frank. But who cares, right? We are talking about markets, so that's what we are going to focus upon. So I'm still realizing that fact that 100% accuracy does not exist. The earlier you realize this fact, the easier it is for you to learn and to practice what you have learned. Took me time, doesn't mean everybody has to waste their time learning this. You could learn it if you just come into the right alignment, in the right space of mind. It's very simple. It's really very simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy at all, but it's very, very simple. I used to think I was smart, and that was my biggest mistake. I mean, the biggest mistake, because I've done some okay shit. I mean, I'm not something very wow, that's someone. Obviously not, but I was smart overall, like a bright student in general, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to get too much into it. So I used to think I'm smart, and that was the ego talking. You cannot outsmart this. This is a game of probabilities. You just cannot outsmart this. No matter how hard you try, you'll not be able to, and you'll only end up feeling cringe about it. Well, that was gloomy. I went into past feelings and past memories and all right. Now see, right there, right there, what? Sorry, I did not continue. I was in my mind. I'm so sorry about that. So right there, like this is where I would want prices to show a strong displacement lower. And until we have that, I'm not touching this, because I'm not going long, obviously. I'm not going short either. not until unless I have clarity as to what, like, not, I have the clarity right now, but the market has to show me that it is on side with what I'm thinking. Like, yeah, fair. Let's just say it more clearly. The market shows कि मैं उसी के direction में move कर रहा हूँ. I am with it. I'm aligned with it. If the market does not show that I'm aligned with it, that means I'm not aligned with it, right? I mean, that is that simple. But anyway, so this is where I'm expecting some sort of bearish move, bearish candles, strong displacement, a shift in structure, a gap, anything from the 2022 model. And that's not the only thing I trade, but yeah, pretty much what I refer to most of the times. Now I'm looking for, if it is trying to go higher, where could it reach for? There is nothing. There is nothing but those order blocks, that like this very gap. There would be order blocks, right? Let me give a look. Yeah, that very order block. I would say the breaker. The breaker would be an interesting point. I just marked that out. So that's the 1 hour breaker right there. Just going to make it thicker. The market may want to hit that, and I'll keep it at the low. Why? Because you see this breakdown, that break right there. Market went through that low directly and closed below it. Okay, so that low right there is important resistance, if you want to put it that way. That is an important resistance, and well, I'm looking at right at it. If it wants to reach up, and then that would be the level I would be looking at. And what does that align with as well? It aligns with the consequent encroachment of this gap right here, the center, the 50% level. I was also discussing about not being good with time. Like never. You know, I'll show you one thing. Right now I'm watching ES on the other chart, so I'll know if something happens. But I'll show you something. That day when the market crashed, that big daily candle, right this here, right? Okay. So, and this is funny because I actually learned a few lessons that day. No, I did not take a loss. Let me say that right away. I booked a profit, but it did fuck me up a little on the mindset thing. Why? I'll tell you. So I came here, like I was obviously before session, I'm watching, and I'm like, dude, this is going down. I saw all those like this low, and there were, you know, more lows behind. Like this shit is going down. I was like, all right, let me see if market presents my model. Is there's a displacement and a gap and everything. So that's exactly what I did. I took the entry right here, placed my stop there, and that was it. And I wanted this low, okay. I thought I'll get this low, but ES gave this low earlier, okay. I think it gave it right here. We'll have to check that on the ES chart, but that doesn't matter really. What I'm trying to say is something else completely. So I was looking at this low, and मुझे लगा कि ES को लेगा, and that's what I was targeting, okay. So I was like, जब ES ने वो लो लिया, I booked majority of my position, and then it rejected, and I was like, fuck this. I think I've gotten on the wrong side of things, and let's just close it. So I just closed the whole position. I collapsed it right there, okay. And what do I see right after 20-25 minutes? Boom. This is what I'm trying to show. It's not ki, see, I was here, I was so smart. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying I don't know how to time this shit. Like, I've tried to be at the best time so many times, and I failed miserably at it. I tried to become ICT so many times, and I failed miserably at it. So that's where I have started changing things. Like, okay, I'm not going to time this, I'm going to watch price. Like, I even tried to time that GBP trade, you know, like in the London session today. I tried to time that, and look where that got me. A fucking stop out. Even when my direction was right, my first target was delivered, but still I was at a loss. Why? Because I was trying to act smart. And when I say that, I also understand if there's a dumb person, as in the context of being smart. Okay, like when you're saying I'm smart, on there, right there, see, right there. If you look at ES right now, look there. Now if the next candle breaks lower and we have a gap open and it comes back up, that's a short right there. Not a trading advice. There's a disclaimer running, please read that. It's like, read disclaimer, important. Trade at your own risk. Okay, don't get confused. This is something you should be doing on your own, or under the guidance of a registered, practiced, registered financial advisor, and I'm not one. So yeah, so that's not trading advice. That's just what I've learned, and I'm just showing you that. And we stopped. You see, timing. I have almost promised myself that I'll not time trades, and I have almost, like, why I say almost, because I tend to get back into it कि यार फिर से अरे यार ठीक है ना, like नहीं इस बार सही होगा, and it's never right, dude, it's never right. So I've stopped timing that, and I'm promising myself right now कि I'll not time this trade. I'll just, like, this idea, not just this trade, I'll just not time this idea simply. I mean, it's that simple. Don't time it, let it be, leave it be. What's the big deal? You see, I think there might be a see that 3-minute gap right there. I'm not interested in it. I'm being honest. I'm not interested in it. Not right now, at least. And first of all, that gap is still forming. There's still 2 minutes to the candle. Anything can happen, right? But if you see right here in the 1-minute chart, I see this very small gap, but I'm seeing something else as well, which I'll not share right now. I'm just waiting on it. Let's see if it actually shifts structure. Then we'll see if there is something that needs to be done. Hurry up and wait. I'm gonna switch off the disclaimer for some moments. It keeps running, it gives me a headache. It's like, keeps running. It should keep running time to time, sure. Needs to be there. Because some people just don't understand. You just don't understand. You want to make money. You want to make money and you think you can do it like this. You won't be able to. Because I was not able to. I'm not just saying that out of pure ego or vengeance, but simply because that's not how this thing works. I mean, I've listened to multiple traders, especially ICT of course, but a whole lot more. I've listened to, business persons who are, who are creating their own wealth in a way. Actually they are creating their own wealth, right? So that's the first thing they say. If you're doing it for the money, you won't get the money. It's just like that. It's simply like that. If you are doing it for the money, you won't get it. Your value has to be placed somewhere else. You are the value. Okay. Money comes to you because you are valuable. Money comes to you because you are following a process. If you run behind money, you'll keep running behind it and you'll never get it. Deep lesson there. And a painful one too. Pain, as much as, like NF said one thing, I remember NF saying one thing. NF was in one of his songs, NF says, I am confident you must be hearing crackers because this one is actually a bit too loud. Well, yeah, so NF. So NF said in one of his songs, the lyrics go something like, just because mistakes make you grow doesn't mean you're friends. Just because आपकी गलती आपको सिखा रही है, that doesn't mean कि आप ज़िंदगी भर गलतियाँ करते रहो. Because अगर आप ज़िंदगी भर गलती कर रहे हो, then you're not really learning anything from your mistakes, right? If you're repeating the same shit again and again and again and again, you're not really learning anything. Otherwise, those mistakes will not be repeated. Don't do it for the money. Just don't. Enjoy life. I'm lighting up my own cracker right now. It's getting slightly on the boring side and we have to wait. You know, this is where I used to get trapped. Again, this is like this range, you know, like it would come down here. Let's say it consolidates further. Okay, just keeping that in mind. If it consolidates further, I'm not sure if you guys are able to hear me with all that crackers. Just give me a second, I'll give it a check. I guess I'm audible enough. It doesn't really matter. Now, what am I looking for? Yeah, that. But still, that doesn't make any sense. That's just one candle. I'm just looking for a strong displacement lower. That's what I'm looking for. We already established the narrative. ES. Okay, one second. Let me take that full screen. Right there. ES looks like it wants to take that high. Okay, that's where it wants to go right now. I'm watching what it does after that. Yeah, sorry, I was talking about something. Yeah, right. Got interrupted in between. So, this is where, and ES has taken that high. No, it's an equal high. No, it has taken that high. Cool. Same with NQ. Okay. So, yeah, this is where I would get trapped every time. Once that low would be taken, like first fair value gap, I'll enter long there. You know, I'm placing this PNL to tell you this is where I was wrong, and this is where I've been wrong multiple times. I've been lucky too, no doubt. I've been lucky with that too, but I've been wrong more times than I was right. Like many more times. So I would just place my entry right there. Ki once it takes that stop, I'll go long, and ये मेरा stop होगा. इसको तोड़ेगा नहीं फलाना डिमाका. You know, because what is this? Like, what is this area right here? It's consolidation, dude. It's consolidation. Why would you even touch it? इसको छूना भी क्यों है? अगर तुम इसको उंगली कर रहे हो, that means you don't know what the fuck you are doing. You just want to feel good by taking a trade that gives you profit. That's it. You're not looking for anything else. That's how you're functioning. And I used to, मतलब मैं घुस जाता था उस चीज़ में कि I have to be right. I have to be right on this one. They go, I will be right on this one. I will be right on this one. And it would take my stop and then run higher, like example. Or even run lower. I was just like absolutely offside. I'm telling you, this is where you'll get fucked. You'll just get fucked. There's nothing else to it. Wait for it to give you a clear sign that it is leaving this range. Let's say, okay, let's just change the scenario for a moment. Let's say I'm wrong about going for the sell side or any lower price. Like this low is now important, right? Because it's the 930 open, and this is like what, the RTH gap high right there, right? That high, like not the high, sorry. Yeah, the RTH gap high, right? It's the RTH gap high. So this low is now important. So I'm just keep that in mind. That would be an important target eventually if we are actually selling off, right? So apart from that, what I was saying was, let's say I'm wrong on the bias, okay, and it's a bullish market. It's going higher for like I'm wrong for the intra-session bias and my long-term bias is on point, okay, and that's what the market is willing to do right now, like in this very session and this very day. It wants to push higher. Still, I won't engage it as long as it's in this range. See what I did there? See that? 25,251. What's the high on this one? 25,251. I mean, look at that. Fuck. That does, okay. That in itself doesn't show anything. Okay. I'm not, I was like, that in itself doesn't show anything. Okay. I'm just simply saying that that level was important, and see how market respected that in a sense. Now if we reject from that level, that would be something. But the precision amazes you. I'm like, I went into backtesting like months. I mean, months of data, I guess even years of data. I did not keep the exact track of how much data I went through, but like years of data. Give me a moment. I'm so sorry. Right. So I was saying, yeah, months of data. So months of backtesting, months of data, okay, and the precision will amaze you. Like the levels that we are talking about, it's like you see that, like I know that's nothing. I know it's nothing in itself, but once you realize the precision, that gives you logic to the brain. Like it gives your brain that logic कि देख भाई ये चीज काम कर रही है. These concepts work, and for that matter any concept work, no doubt, like any strategy works. But the precision that you're building, that you're watching, that will help your brain realize what it is actually looking for. So you go through months of data, years of data, and you just keep tracking it. Okay, this is how market behaved, this is how market did not behave. Okay, it took that low, it did not take that low, it took that high, it did not take that high. Keep practicing that, and automatically you'll start choosing the right levels. You'll start choosing it's just automatic. You think you have to do all the work when you don't have to do any work. You just have to show up. You just have to show up every fucking day. And now, why am I talking so much? Okay, now let's get into that as well. Why am I talking so much? Because you need to listen this. And plus, this is boring. Okay, this stuff is boring. Why would anyone be willing to sit here with me just to watch the candles paint? I mean, in general, sure, you'd want to, when you realize the skill, when you understand the gravity of the concept, how you apply it, how a fair value gap is not important or an order block is not important, but the narrative is important. So you'll want to watch that, sure, but this stuff is boring, man. This stuff is fucking boring. And if you are getting excited by it, you have a lot to learn. It's going to bore the shit out of you. Nothing else. Nothing else to it. There goes the crackers. Yeah, I'm not really a festival person, at least not at the moment. Like I'm more of a private person. Not that I am against crackers or anything. In a sense, I am against because I have pets. So, in a sense, I'm against. But I don't mind people doing mindless things because you need to do some mindless things to take shit. To take your mind off some shit, right? So that's absolutely okay. But I'm not a very cracky person, crackery person, whatever. I light my own cracker. I realize this. I do realize this, that only time can do this, Somebody told me, so somebody like as in a video, of course, of a trader. He told me something very important. Don't focus on the day. You cannot focus on every up and down of the day. Focus on months. Focus on years. Maybe even if you can't see that far, all right, focus on weeks. But don't run around jumping through within the day, through all that up and down. Okay, you took a loss. Oh fuck, I don't know anything. Oh, you took a win. Yes, I'm very smart. Don't function like that, build consistency. I'm really not trying to sound like an educator as much as I'm sounding like one to myself right now. I'm not really an educator. I like teaching, no doubt. I like teaching, at least in the college days and even in the school days, but I'm not really an educator as for now. But I think I do sound like one right now. Thanks to all the, ICT spaces, ICT videos. I mean, I've gone through a lot of shit. Not everything, obviously not yet, at least. Like I've not gone through 2024, I've not gone through 2025, I've not gone through half of 2023. But yeah, I've gone through a lot of his content, especially the spaces. In fact, I was listening one today again. Keeps you on your toes, makes you realize the measure of risk that you are exposed to when you're in the markets. See the time? 10:14. Oh, that's not a particular time, of course, nothing in particular that ICT talks about or even I know of. I'm just saying it's 10:14, right? Now, between 10 to 11, what do we have? What do we have between 10 and 11? It's the AM silver bullet, right? That's what it is. Now, what are we looking for that? In my opinion, I club it with the 2022 model. I don't just use any fair value gap to force my bias on the market. And never force your bias on the market. Never. Make a bias, throw it out. I'm still watching it from the perspective, I'm being very honest. Right now also I'm watching it from the perspective, can it go higher? Even though I have a bearish bias, I know it's most likely to go lower. Still I'm watching price, understanding what it exactly wants to do, not trying to force myself on it. If you love someone, okay, if you really love someone, would you force yourself on them? In any way, I'm not just talking about in the sexual sense, obviously. Like in any way, would you force yourself on them? No. And you have to fall in love with the markets, dude. You have to love this. And love this, not the trading part. You don't want to love the trading part. You just don't want to love the trading part, okay? Love the analysis part, love the understanding part, love the process that you're following, the model that you're following, the understanding that you're following, the logic that you're following, you know, like love all those shit. Don't love trading, you know, don't love the trading part, because that is going to send you on rides that you can't even imagine. And I'm not saying this from the sense of an educator, honestly speaking. Like, I'm no educator, dude. I barely have like 5 years of experience. And by experience, I would say being exposed to the markets. I barely have 5 years of exposure to the markets. I'm not willing to, you know, say it out like an educator, but I'm more like, this is what I went through. If you get something out of it, cool. If you don't get something out of it, cool. It doesn't really matter. It's none of my concern. I'll still be sitting here doing my shit the way I do it. I chose trading because I wanted that freedom. This is going to be a very boring session. It's just not going anywhere. And boring as in, I'm not bored, honestly, I'm loving it. I'm just like, I know I should not, I think I should not be thinking like that. I'm again thinking. I should not be thinking per se, but still, I'm thinking that, dude, this is a life. You need to keep speaking in a sense, because you're not even on cam that people can see you, right? So, and why am I not on cam? Because I don't want to be on cam, not right now, simply. Like I said, I did say it earlier. I'm a very private person. I like to keep things private. This is CES right there. Nope. I won't time it. I won't time it. I have to wait. I used to go long there, you know. I'm telling you, I've been fucked with ranges for so long. Don't trade consolidations. You just don't want to do that. First, it's not that you'll take losses. I mean, that is the least of the concerns, like literally the least of the concerns, that you'll incur more losses. It will fuck your mind. It will fuck your mindset completely. बर्बाद, और कोई word नहीं, बर्बाद कर देगा mindset को. And then you'll have to again climb that ladder. When you realize finally that you are doing something wrong, then you climb that ladder again. Okay, I need to do this. Don't do it. Wait for the right opportunity. Learn to, you know, like, just learn to wait actually and enjoy this. I mean, why am I saying boring? I know I'm not bored. I'm being very honest. I'm like least bored. I love this. I love watching the markets. So I'm simply watching it. I'm amazed. Like, that shit amazes me. See that one right there? Right there. This shit amazes me. I mean, dude, it literally respected that very level and is now rejecting lower. I'm amazed when I see that. I'm like, wow. And if we break lower from here, I'll know, with this level in mind, this level would be my security right there, that it rejected from that 1 hour breaker. What is this level, right? 1 hour breaker. I will not mention it. The text clutters the space in my opinion. So yeah, I'll just point out it's a 1 hour breaker. So yeah, you see that how the market consolidated right there and then broke down with some kind of energy. I mean, like, it's not very much energetic, sure, but it has some sort of energy right there compared to the consolidation going on. And when and if this breaks lower, this rejection right here would give me more confidence in my trade, would give me more understanding that I know what I'm looking for and I'm on side with the market. The logical mind, not the logic, because I'm not using any logic right now, because the market has not shown me its hand. The market has not shown me that it is one directional, right? But the logical mind is like, right now, why the fuck would anybody want to go short there? Right? You don't want to go short there. You just don't want to. You wait for the market to show you that it's going to go for that low, this low, all those lows. But you wait. Waiting is the tough part. I usually just because I got reminded of a live streamer whom I judged, honestly. So yeah, that was my fault again. So yeah, I judged that person for opening too many trades inside a session with no clear narrative. And well, I don't know what they are doing, right? I don't see their logic. I don't see what's running in their mind, how they see the market. It's their own perception to the market, and they are profitable doing that. I mean, then who gives a fuck, right? You're profitable in doing that. Can it reject from there? Why there? Any ideas why there? If it fails to take that high, that would be a very good sign for me to again endorse my idea that we are going lower. Not that I'm interested in this gap again. I just pointed that out because there is a gap, and it's a gap, right? So I'm just pointing it out. I have no concern with this gap. I'm just simply pointing it out on the chart that there is a gap right there. If we fail to take that high, and let's say maybe ES takes that high, and then we reject, boy, that would be something. And my attention was on ES, so yeah. If you think it has taken the high, it has not, just to be clear. I know now it has taken the high. Just by a tick. right there. And honestly, I feel we are not going to reject here. Let's see. Yep, not yet. So now what happened right there? What did I do? Did I change my narrative? Did I change the fact that market is going lower? No, not really. I just simply read the candle. The candle was saying it wants to go higher. And I was like, okay, it wants to go higher. Cool. Still not aligning with me. And that's pretty okay. I mean, that should not be a concern, honestly. I think I forgot to notice something. Nope, I did not forget that. ES has done the same thing, right? It has not taken the the Asian lows. All right. Now, what do I think is going to happen? Nothing. It's a slow market and still just slowly consolidating and moving higher. Nothing that interests me at the moment. I feel weird about it, because at least in my mind, I think that if you're live streaming something, you need to do something. Like if you don't open a trade, let's say I go through this complete session till 11, we can push till 11. No, actually 11 is the right point, like half an hour more. Then I'll drop for the PM session, I guess. That would be the approach. So yeah, I'm live and I did not take any trade. That's not a good thing, right? That's what I think. That's how I'm thinking. And that's my own predisposed judgment. I mean, I'm assuming that. But frankly speaking, I know what I'm doing. So I know I don't touch this. Not until it has shown me something that I'm willing to see. Or shown me something that even if I'm not willing to see, but I can see clearly. Okay, I was wrong on the bias. We are going this direction, or we are going there, we are doing that. Something. But so far, there's nothing that concerns me. Nothing there as well. Yeah, that PNL from an old day, Friday, ignore that. The way it has gotten so far, right, and the way it is displacing further, I would say it wants to go for that high. Let's see, because the gap high is important for NQ. If my bias is bearish, if the market is bearish, that fair value gap high is equally important. Where do I think the thing with narrative is you don't really of course you understand where you can be wrong, right? You get that point, but with narrative is like It's much more of a stable thing. It doesn't, it shifts. It definitely shifts. Like, it depends what the market presents you, because it's a shifting market and your narrative also shifts. So yeah, cool. But it's more of a stable thing. It doesn't shift very quickly. It shifts only when there is a clear understanding. So why am I saying my bias is still bearish? Because that's how I see the market. Like, the way it has ripped higher, taken all those highs, like this high, that high, everything, it would want to come lower. That's how I'm seeing it. And in regular trading hours also, the opening gap has not been touched, right? No touching right there. So it may not do that today. Like, it may not do that today itself. I don't know that, honestly. I'm not trying to fuck around right now. I don't know that. I'm just simply trying to understand what the market is doing. And right now, even though it's running higher, I'm like, it should be bearish. Like, I want to see it come down and show me that it's willing to come down. That and only that is when I will engage price. Otherwise, I'll just watch. Think of it like a movie. You're just watching a movie. Maybe it's boring for some, but yeah, for some people, it's the most entertaining movie. I being one of them, one of those some. When I look at ES right now, ES is like ES looks to be not in a happy place, in my opinion. I mean, it's kind of it's kind of out of sync, I would say. I'm two-sided right now. Okay, I'm two-sided. Why I'm saying that? Two-sided as in not for the bias. My bias is still bearish. I'm sticking with that for the moment at least. But in fact, for this session, the session is like 30 more minutes. I am sticking with my bearish bias still. 35 minutes. Let's keep it like that. And why I'm saying that it's two-sided, because it's at a point. It's at a point where if it fails to take that high, it's good for my bias, right? But if it takes that high, still that's okay. I mean, that doesn't concern me still. I'll still hold my bias at this point. So let's see. Preference wise, I would like that ES not take that high. Actually, I'm tired of speaking, honestly. I'm just trying to be as engaging as I can for this session, because I'm not doing anything right now. I'm still waiting. I'm just waiting. Hey, Okay. Huh. Still waiting. I'm telling myself right now, you know, right? Like, you know, right, that you will be doing this every day. So it's okay. I mean, like, for example, let's say I come into the AM session, right? Like the same session, let's say it doesn't pan out. I don't do anything. I come into the PM session, let's say again, I don't do anything, right? I build a narrative and it doesn't pan out, or the market just chooses to do something else altogether. And the question really is, will I stop live streaming or will I stop attending sessions? Hell no. That's not stopping me. I mean, my pain did not stop me. This is just a minor thing. I mean, this has no value. Because this is an outcome. Me not doing anything here is an outcome of my understanding, my narrative, my unique view on price. That's how I'm seeing it. Okay, cool enough. I'll find something engaging because I want to engage myself. It's not like I need to do this, but I want to actually. So let me see what I can engage with right now. You know, this thing I was explaining in the London session कि कैसे वो premium में change आता है. The upper part of that gap is a discount. The lower part of that gap is a premium. If you are bullish, you don't want to see price coming into the lower half, right? In the same manner, in the very same manner, this right here, what does that show? Like, okay, this green gap, what is this green gap, by the way? Which time frame? 1 hour, right? So this is a 1 hour gap, okay? So if I'm bearish on this, okay, that's the approach, then from here till here, that's 50%, right? See, consequent encroachment, and sometimes gets on the tongue, right? So that's consequent encroachment. But the funny part is, this is discount, okay? Like the upper half is the discount and the lower half is the premium. Getting it? No? See, I'm expecting lower prices, right? So if I'm expecting lower prices, I want price to remain in the lower half because that is the premium area, premium area for it. Dude, ICT explains it so much better. I mean, no, not comparing. I mean, I don't want to compare, but he really explains this much better. And honestly, it took me, I think I watched that particular video at least 3 times to understand what he was actually trying to say. But once I understood it, I realized what he was actually trying to say. And by the way, ES took the high right there. Let's see if things get any interesting from here on. Yeah, so we were talking about this premium and discount. For this gap, this is premium. If you're selling, you want to sell in the lower half. If you're buying, let's say, now let's just change the perspective. Let's say I was looking for a long, my bias was bullish, and I am aiming for that high right there, 25,394, which I am aiming for, not for today's session, not for this session. That's the long-term bias. That's what I'm looking for the weekly range to do, 25,394. Right. So let's say I was looking at that and I was looking for it this session or today's session or whatever. So this is the discount region. This is where you want to buy. Now let's say the market breaks out of it. Okay. I'm just going to point that out. Where's that poly? There was this arrow, right? No. Yeah, path. Right. So let's just say the market breaks out from here, okay? It goes higher. Then it comes back lower, okay? So if it comes back lower and breaks below this level, like below 50%, if it comes anywhere in this area, now that's not a good buy. Because why? Because this is premium. Sorry, I need to stop that. Like if you want to see it go long, you want to see it right here, like in this region. You don't want it to come down below the consequent encroachment. And when you say come down, what does that actually mean? That doesn't mean wicking around, okay? Wicks like this is entertained, no problem, but the body should tell the narrative. They should tell that the market wants to stay above this, right? But if it comes lower than that, if it moves into this, like below the consequent encroachment, now that's a premium. That's premium pricing. What do we do in premium? We sell in premium. We don't buy in premium, right? I mean, I think that's obvious. So this thing right here, it depends on your narrative, mostly on the narrative and the market structure, the speed of the market. I mean, lots of things there, right? You have to measure a lot of things. It's not just one thing. You cannot say that, okay, this is the reason why the market should go higher or go lower, whatever. You have to measure a lot of things and then come to that conclusion that this is what it wants to do. And clearly, almost clearly, the market is not willing to show us any signs of going lower. And that's okay. That's okay for me, honestly. I'm happy not taking a trade. I'm just happy attending the session. It's like I practiced a lot to get to this state, and it could be said that by doing the live stream I might be fucking up with that state, but honestly no, I'm actually practicing it even more. That's what this live is telling me. Stick to your principles, to your objectives, to your understanding. Stick with it. It doesn't matter what people will say. It doesn't matter who's watching, who's not watching, how many are watching, how many are not watching. What matters is if you know what you are doing. And I know what I'm doing. That's why I'm not entering into any position. I'm not looking for longs. I'm looking for shorts. And having said that, I did see that, and I have been, like, I think I did point that out, or maybe I did not. See this gap right here. If it's going higher, and let's say it's going directly to 25,394 right there, right? This gap is of importance. Why? Why is the question? I mean, why is this gap so important? See this range, this whole range, okay? We can even make it smaller, it doesn't really matter. Like this whole consolidation area. Make it something else. Yeah. That's a very odd color. Better. Right. So this whole consolidation area right here, right? It's consolidating, and then this level, that's the 1 hour breaker, okay? So at this level it rejected and then moved higher, right? It broke out from that region. Now if it wants to go there, which I'm honestly not interested. If that's what the market is doing, I'll wait. Because I'll wait for what? I mean, not that I'll not take a trade. I'll wait for it to come down here and show me something that it's willing to go higher. Then and only then would I engage price to look for a higher run. Otherwise, I'm just not touching it. I'm still not touching it. I'm not doing anything with it, with the price right now. Right. So yeah. So it broke out from this consolidation and it left a gap right there. If you see a 2 minute, I think that would be a better gap, or maybe even a 3 minute. See that massive gap right there. 3 minute has the best gap in my opinion right now. Yeah. So that's a 3 minute chart, 3 minute fair value gap. So if in any case I am interested in longs, or actually I'm not in, let's keep my interest out of the picture, just focusing on what the market wants to do, right? So if the market wants to go higher and not go lower, as I'm assuming, as I have been waiting for, let's say it wants to go higher. If it wants to go higher, it would, once it comes into this area, it takes these stops out, hits that gap, rejects, and then shows me another sign of entry, but with what? With alignment from ES. ES has to do the same. You see, ES has already filled that gap. You see that right there? That I was telling you about this, I forgot to see ES altogether, even though it was open right here. See, it has filled that. I know it's a very small gap, but if you change time frames, see, 2 minute right there, filled that, moved higher. 3 minute right there, see, filled that, moved higher. Why I was not entertaining this so far, and why I'm still not, like, even though I'm saying it, I'm still not entertaining it. I'm like, I don't see the market rallying from here, because why? Because this right here, these lows have remained intact. So I cannot trust at this given point. I cannot trust any run higher. To me, every run higher, unless it completely ramps out somewhere, it gives another, or maybe it consolidates and then gives me a clearer picture. For example, let's say this gap was not there. Okay, let's just remove that for a moment. Let's say that gap was not there, and now it comes back, take these stops, something in that accordance, takes these stops and then presents me a setup that's going higher. Yeah, I'll be interested, of course. I'll take that fucking trade without a doubt. But right now I'm not interested in longs, because I know the market can trick me here. It can very well trick me here, because we are very close to the all-time high. And also, what else? It's a Monday. It's a fucking Monday. Mondays tend to be mostly opposite of what your bias is. Sometimes they can align, sure. Maybe I'm wrong on the whole picture, and it for Monday it just moves a little more higher, and on Tuesday it takes that high, moves a little more high, and then maybe on Tuesday end, or Wednesday morning, like Wednesday AM session, it rips lower, that could happen. I'm just watching price real time to understand what the market is doing. That is all. There's nothing else to it. So, excuse me. So every decision I'm making is from that very space. I'm not trying to force myself in any way upon the market. I want to see the market show me what it wants to do. And at this point, I'm not clear with any longs. Like, you see, where do you see any, oh fuck, I was talking about this chart and I was showing that chart. I'm so sorry. Where do you see any of the lows taken? See right there. And 930, that's what I was expecting. Originally, I thought the market would rip lower, take that low, hit that gap, or maybe even not hit that gap, but take that low, and then show me a move higher. And that's when I would have been interested in going long. But right now, nah bro, I'm not looking at it. I'm like, I'll wait for the right opportunity. a clearer opportunity. It's not about long or short here. It's not even about the bias here. How long was I on that chart? I'm so sorry. I don't know how long I was talking on this chart and showing you that chart. I apologize. Anyway, what's done is done. I think that's the 1050 macro now kicking in. What does the 1050 macro do? It mostly tries to go for AM stops. Mostly, not always. Macros tend to target stops. They can also start, trends. Like they obviously can. But they mostly tend to be running on stops and then, aligning themselves with the trend, with the actual trend. So let's see. I'm still not up for it. I'm not even up for shorting now. Like I'm not touching it as a short also. Like I'm just watching. I want to see what the market presents to me. In my data of trading so far, मैंने देखा कि जब मैंने ज़्यादा ट्रेड्स लिए, when I took a lot of trades, the result was like let's say 1%, okay, and like just a hypothetical situation. The result for the week was like 1% gain, okay. I took less number of trades, maybe 1 या 2 या 4, for the week. No, 1 2 तो नहीं, 1 2 is like too less. That's not what I do generally. At least 4 trades या 5 trades जाते हैं week के. On an average, minimum की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. Maximum, if I'm tilted, it can go up to, I don't know, 20, 25. That can happen. That has happened. I mean, it's not something new. It has happened, of course. But yeah, so when I take a lot of trades, they are like 1% gains, example. And when I take lesser number of trades, they are also like 1%, maybe 2, depends, like something, whatever happened, whatever the scenario was for the week. And that data actually hit me when I really saw that data firsthand. I acknowledged it. I was like, fuck. That means it's not the number of trades that do it. It's not about the number of trades. It's about consistency. It's about, are you able to repeat what you are doing? And are you able to repeat it consistently? It came as a shock to me when I actually saw that. It took me a whole day to process that data, because I was trying to process this from the wrong mindset, of course. I thought, because now when I saw that, I thought and assumed that now I need to take less number of trades. Like that was the solution. I was just running in circles, that was never the solution. I mean, if you focus on the trades, you're already in the wrong direction. I mean, it is what it is. As silly as it seems, like if you're focused on the money, if you're focused on the trades, you're doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. As simple as that. That's not something you want to be focused upon. Focus on, if you really want to focus on narrative. Focus on how it is done. Focus on the logic. That's something to focus upon. I think this is where I would like to end the stream, because it's now getting, it's almost 5 minutes to be. I'll be watching the markets for another, let's say 15-20 minutes. But overall I'm done, because I'm not shorting it. Obviously it has gone way higher for me to short it. and I'm not interested in longs, so I'm going to let that be as well. What I'll do is I'll come revisit during the 1250 macro, like right just before that, like let's say 1245. And then we'll see what the market has done, what it's willing to do, and what I'm willing to do with it. So that would be it for this session. See you in the PM session at 12:45. PM session starts at 13:30 majorly, but I really like the 12:50 macro part, and you know that whole region of 1 PM starting. So yeah, I'll be there around 12:45. That's the plan. See you there. Thank you.